Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another episode of the Chocolate Shake. Inshallah, today I'd like to speak about DEI. That is diversity, equity, and inclusion programs that many businesses partook in during the Black Lives Matter movement or thereafter. Now, we know for a long time this country has been going back and forth about how it is to place the Black American, how it is that you open up channels for Black American and by extension, other minorities. And I say by extension because initially programs like this coming out of the 1960s and 70s were specifically designed to be for Black Americans. And then, of course, with the women's liberation movement, that expanded to women. And broadly, that meant that white women were the biggest beneficiaries of these types of programs. However, the programs were developed to bring in people outside of the great white man. All right. So we know that since 1619 or thereabout, even some people say before that in the 1500s, we have had Europeans come to this country, European males, and they basically dominated all the spheres of activity. Economics, social, law, going down the line. So this is something that anybody listening to my channel will probably already know. Well, we know that on the planet Earth from about the late 1400s, 1500s, thereabout, till about now, the white man has reigned almost as a god on this planet. And now he's losing grip on power. And he's having to share the economies, sociology, all the other spheres of activity, the economics. He has to share it with other people on the planet. Otherwise, it'll be stripped away from him. So one of the ways that these people have designed mechanisms for other people to share power and to live as first-class citizens in Western countries, and particularly the United States of America, because that's where I am, is they develop programs like DEI. That way they can bring in Blacks, they can bring in Latinos, they can bring in people from the queer community, the big umbrella queer community. They can bring in women folk, etc. So this is why these programs were designed. And now with the Trump administration, we are seeing that these programs are being stripped away. Because in the mindset of people who think like the Trump administration, they say they believe in meritocracy and that things should fall to meritocracy, your merit. And based on your merit, you should get whatever you get in life. Now, we know that's clownish and comical coming from white men. It's clownish and comical coming from somebody like Trump or coming from somebody like Elon Musk, who both were born billionaires. Their parents were billionaires. So when we hear two billionaire white boys talking about something based on merit, we know that this is a distraction. This can't be true. Because surely these types of men are not talking about merit. All right. And they're not talking about merit for their working class white brothers and sisters. What they're doing is they're using the DEI argument and they're using these merit-based arguments to basically cause racial strife. This is what they're doing. This is to pit one American against the other. This is to pit the man against the woman. This is to pit the Black against the white. This is to pit the straight against the queer community. This is what it's all about. You shake the people up, you get the people distracted on these types of things, while the robber barons like Trump, Elon, and the whole group of them, they rob the country blind. Or they weaken the country in the way where the government, which means the people. So when I say the government, anytime you're on my channel and you hear me say the government, what I'm saying is we the people. Because the government is supposed to represent the people. And if the people do what they need to do, then we will make sure that this government represent us and not play games with these billionaires up top who are now buying the politicians. The way the politicians have structured the law, the way they've abused the Constitution, things that were meant specifically like the 14th Amendment for Black people. Now they're telling us that corporations are people now. This is the way that the corporations themselves have been able to buy into the ideal that we too can buy a politician. We can support politicians with our dollars. And what this has done through the years is it has enabled the robber barons now to buy off the politicians. So now the government and the people who are in it are probably 95% sycophants to the ruling elites on both sides, Democrats and the Republicans. So this is not about the Republicans, bad, Democrats, good. No way in the world. The Democrats are horrible. They're terrible. They're just as bad as the Republicans. Everybody's bought off. Unless you're doing some type of third party, particularly something like the Green Party, then trust and believe your politicians are bought off. Bernie Sanders came through the Democratic Party being an independent, and he took small dollar donations from his people and got a lot of money for his campaign, ran very well. And the DNC, that is the Democratic National Convention, they sank Bernie. They turned on him when he was ahead, when he was number one, and he was going to be the person who initially ran against Trump. When Trump ran the second time and lost to Biden. Bernie had Biden, everybody beat, but the DNC, they sank him. Why did they sink him? Because the billionaires up top said, we don't want him coming in, a nationalist socialist. Okay, we don't want him because Bernie Sanders was going to make sure that the people were going to be represented. Our voice would have been represented, but they didn't want that. Okay, that's the story that's now long and gone. So we'll deal with DEI today. So now the Trump administration is in and they're telling us that they're going to strip down DEI, and you can see businesses just collapsing into following suit. All of these gigantic businesses, even businesses that I'm surprised that would do it, they have done it. Thank God for those who haven't done it. So we have somebody out here we could support and not become total slaves to the billionaire class. So thank God for those companies who stood their ground and continue their DEI policies. So I wanted to say, first of all, well, not first of all, but I want to say in this talk of mine that DEI never really did much for blacks. So we have to be real about that. It did very little for us. Last time I looked at it, which was about 2 weeks ago, I saw about a couple of studies. One said that blacks benefited. We were the 5th beneficiaries in a list of 1 through about whatever it was, 7 or 8. We were the 5th to benefit from DEI attempts in the business world. 5th, that's black people. White women were number 1. Just like in the past, when they basically stole away what it was that the country was trying to do for black Americans in the late 60s and early 70s with other movements where they were trying to move blacks into the middle class. They basically gave it to the white women back then, and white women again in DEI have been the biggest beneficiaries of these programs. After them have been people from the queer community, as I understand it. After them have been people like the Latinos, etc. And then the scale goes all the way down, and somewhere about 5, 6, or 7 blacks came in. One study I said, I think it was we came in about 5th place. In another study I saw, it was about the 7th place. So black folks really don't benefit from these programs. So who are these people aiming at? Who is the Trump administration aiming at? What it lets me know is that this is really a distraction. This is what it really is. It's to keep us separated and to have an excuse to keep anybody out of power but some mediocre white boys. That's all. Keep the mediocre white man in power. That's what it's about. And we have to say that, because if you don't say it and they continue to build a case against DEI, then we could allow ourselves to be fooled, children to be fooled about what they're really about. These people are about keeping white men in power. That's what it's about. We just got to call a spade a spade. And since this is the case, of course, we have to stand up and push back. This is our duty. So if you are a person who really believes in what's ethical and what's moral, then it's your duty and your obligation to study these things, get the facts, and then allow yourself to push back against what it is these folks are trying to do. Because we know at the end of the day, and I always say this, and I'll say this till the day I die, nobody in this world, definitely not in the Western Hemisphere, is going to compete with black people if you open up a forum where black people can actually start at the starting line with all of the other things that other groups have to compete. Nobody's going to tell me that me or my sons or my father and his father are not competitive in any realm of human activity in the Western world. Nobody will tell me that. And I tell you right now, not only will we compete, we'll win. We'll be number one over and over and over again. And I think everybody knows that. In the sphere of human activity that America has let the black man into, we have dominated that sphere and taken it. We have been number one. We've done it in athletics. We've done it in science. We've done it in sociology. Just give us a fair shot and we will come out on top. And I think people know that. There's no Irani going to come here and outdo a black American. There's no Indian going to come here or Pakistani and outdo a black American. There's no Trinidadian or Jamaican or Haitian that's going to come here and outdo a black American. There's no Brazilian or Venezuelan or Colombian or Cuban that's going to come here and outdo a black American. There's no Russian that's going to come here. There's no Brit that's going to come here, or Frenchie that's going to come here, or German that's going to come here. It's going to outdo a black American. I think we know that. So if you give a black American a fair shot, we will come out on top. And I believe that's why you see the suppression of the black American. So when you're talking about something that's merit-based, and you start to include the white American is weak. I think that Vivek got kicked out of the Trump administration and basically said that. He basically told white Americans that they were stupid to their faces and that they were weak. Now, I'm not saying that white Americans are stupid. I don't believe that. I believe they're weak. I do believe that. And I damn sure believe they can't compete with me or any other black man or woman out here. Oh, I believe that flat-footedly. If you give us a fighting chance, then trust and believe black folks will take this country over. Point blank, period, exclamation point. I have no doubt about it. Just give us a fair shot and you'll see what happens. And they know that. And that's why they keep their foot on our necks. Okay, so that's my verbal blitzkrieg on that issue. But I wanted to bring it up just to say that today is Friday, and some of our black pastors like Jamal Bryant have decided that they're going to stand up today and not buy anything. The idea is for black Americans not to buy anything. All right. So we who are black in this country, who want to move forward, who want to make a point to the Trump administration because of their DEI policies and to businesses that jumped off of the DEI policies, we want to make a point. Now, we know who the biggest beneficiaries are. We know the biggest beneficiary is the white woman. Of course, the white woman is connected to the white man. So whatever she gets, go right back to the white man. So that's another hypocrisy of the whole deal, right? The white woman is the biggest beneficiary of DEI programs, and yet she is married to the white man. All right, so now here it is. White folks still get the wealth. They still get the jobs. They still get the positions. They still get the status. And yet white people are telling us that others are benefiting from DEI to the point where they feel like they have to now get rid of these programs. So we have to punish them, brothers and sisters. This is time to punish them. This is what I've been saying. Boycott these people. Don't give them a damn dollar. take your money and hold it for one day just to show them what this means. Now, I understood from Pastor Jamal and others who are speaking about this, right, who's promoting not buying anything today on this Friday. I understand that this is supposed to be done across the board, that we should support no businesses, okay? So everybody can see the impact of that black dollar. I think we should support our businesses, black businesses, and Allah knows the best. You do what you feel is best. I will support black businesses. I'm not going to take my dollar away from a black man. Not going to do that. But I will certainly not buy anything from any one of these other companies today. And for anybody listening to this video, if you are listening to it today, please hold your dollars from giving it to Kroger, Publix. You shouldn't even be going to Walmart. I'm done with anything that deals with Walmart, Sam's. I'm done with them forever. I've been wanting to walk away from them anyway. Now that they've gotten rid of their DEI programs, they are a target. And that goes for the business called Target, Target, as we say. Don't give them a dollar, because all of these people dropped their DEI programs. So today, don't get gas, don't get grocery, don't get anything. Don't buy a pair of jeans, nothing today. Hold your dollar so that we can prove a point with the black dollar. And I hope that Pastor Jamal and others are going to do this every week and do it every week until either these businesses turn these policies around, or until we get out the Trump administration and see what we got coming up on the horizon for people who might want to do something a bit different. We know that we're not the biggest beneficiaries of DEI, but we need to prove a point to them when they start to attack these types of programs, because we know it's racist. This is all about racism. This is all about white supremacy, if you don't want to say racism. This is all about keeping the white man up top and keeping everybody else underfoot. And we're not going to have it. It's a new day. We're going to tear it down, just like our predecessors taught us how to do. We're going to tear this white supremacy all the way down. We're going to jump on it, stomp on it, and burn it to the goddamn ground if that's what we have to do. And that's what the moral man, the ethical men, the God-fearing men, the men who believe in Allah and who believe in the messengers, the men who believe in the great God and all the great sages. This is what you're supposed to do. This is how you fight these devils back. This is how you do it. So I won't make this any longer. I think I've made my case. Brothers and sisters, stand up, take your dollar back. Don't support any businesses today, so that we can make an economic impact on these businesses, so folks can see what the black dollar is out here. All right. So I think that's all I have for you today. God willing, everything's fine with you and yours. If you appreciate the message, do me a favor and like this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Y'all take care out there. Peace.